Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Zach. Today I'm going to be talking about NIO once again. This is a part of my long-term series for this stock, so I'll make sure to mention it in the description below if you'd like to watch previous videos. Make sure to drop a like to this video to help the channel grow, subscribe, and leave notifications on. I'm going to briefly discuss technical analysis here, and then I'm going to dive through DD, the news, and what I think is up to come for the stock. Now, at any point in the video, if you feel you're missing on the technical analysis, you find in the description below a playlist that explains each of these technical indicators and what they mean. And let's jump right into it. On a 1 week perspective, what we get to see here, a really stable MACD looks nice. Momentum looks like it dipped just a little, but it's back on track, and an unbalanced volume that is really bullish. Moving averages full out bullish, and a really big trading action zone where reversals are likely, all the way down to 1145. So looks bullish onto all these kind of steps. Now, the only two things that look bearish / neutral, willing %R is looking more towards the overbought section, although heading towards the neutral. The 80x here seems to be really high, but to be fair, that kind of warning was given all the way back to, let's say, on the 12th of July. So it has gone up almost, say, roughly 50% from that time, from 1028 to 2054. Sorry, 100%. So that is still quite significant to keep in mind, but it usually signals in a warning that this trend will end sometime sooner or later. Now, on a 1 day perspective, what we get to see here, on the 80x suggestion off a trend forming, so that's different than the 1 week perspective. William %R really oversold. Momentum looks like it's a little bit slipping, and the MACD looks like it's testing a negative reversal. Unbalanced volume looks like it's still very strong, and the moving averages look really bullish. Now, just a quick thing. This massive red candle here, well, not really massive, but considerable one, was caused in by news that the stimulus is not probably coming until before the, after the elections. So that is something to consider, that the market is being a little bit shaky. Otherwise, it would have probably stabilized there for quite a significant amount of time, and you get to see really the drop was beyond 2 p.m. Now, everything on a 1 hour perspective looks sloppy, and this is just mainly for a 1 hour perspective, so it's not really worth to discuss, but it looks like it's actually heading towards the negative, especially with the negative MACD here growing up. Now again, this is going to follow the market, so if the market rallies up, it's going to bounce back up. If the market continues to fall with the stimulus news, it probably will fall around there, at least for a 1 hour perspective, until it stabilizes and follows the 1 week or the 1 day analysis. Moving averages, what we get to see here is a really bullish one. It keeps going on forwards and forwards, so that is amazing. Now, on the bottom of the band is 1744, in the middle 1939, and on the top 2133, and it's expected to trade within that band, even though that band is continuously increasing in towards the positive side. Now, on the stochastic fast, what we get to see, it's actually dipping a little bit down there, but that just basically signals perhaps just a little bit of a dip and then bounces right back. So it could be something where we're seeing it from this area here. Stochastic slow doesn't really signify anything. It's been that way for a while. Last time it was bottom down, it was back in a March dip, so I'm not going to give that much mind. Now, this is the last channel I drew before. You get to see it's actually attempting to break the half of the channel, going into back into the lower half of the channel. So I expect it, if it's going to oscillate all the way down to 1862, so that is something to consider. But there is also the possibility that it does bounce back into the top channel as it did somewhere around here. Now, if we were to look into Fibonacci Retracement quickly, we're going to be looking into a little bit of a wider view, especially since it's heading in really close towards its 52-week high. The next Fibonacci support is at 1826, and the resistance is at the 52-week high at 2259. Now, if we were to talk about price lines here, we get to see a significant support sitting at the 2068. Below that, 2046, 20.8, and down below to $19. Below that, 1846. Below that, 1789, and a really significant one sitting down towards the 1649. Resistances here, what we get to see is significant resistance at the 2106 mark, and then above that, the 2125. Above that, we're looking at 2154, and above that, we're looking at 2176. Now, let's jump right into the latest news. Really bullish movements from institutional buyers, adding in shares, even though some of them might be a little bit of smaller number of shares, like TSFG, adding only 300 shares. But we're looking at Optimum Investment Advisors adding in 3,000. The other one that right below them, the Wealth Management, is around 16,000. And additional shares especially on the 29th here. It has 2.34 million shares added, and that is quite significant. And you get to see the trend has been adding. I mean, the last time someone dumped shares will probably be all the way back towards 24th. So 24th of September. And before that, it's probably around the 10th. So quite significant when you're talking about how much institutional buyers are there, and it really shows you, since these guys do their own DD, that they believe in the company. Especially at the 52-week high, that's a significant role. Now, what is the amazing news coming in out of here? On October 2nd, NIO delivered almost just above 4,700 vehicles in September, and that was an increase of 133.2% year over year. They also delivered 12,206 vehicles in the 3 months ended September 2020, an increase of 154.3% from the same interval last year, and 26,375 vehicles in 2020 total, which is an increase of around 114% year over year. Now, it also began deliveries for the EC6 in late September 2020, and the cumulative deliveries of ES8 and the ES6 and the EC6 are 58,288 as of September 30th. A really strong performance from this company here. Looks continue to be bullish, and if you do remember from my last video, I did mention that the additional capital that they do have access to, which looks really bullish in terms of getting additional capital in terms of coming in towards their venture. As well, NIO has an open house that did happen, I believe finished just yesterday in China. So it's quite nice to go around and look into the videos and the pictures. Looks quite significant there. Now, they do have as well later on during the year, so this company here has their Twitter. It's at NIO Global, and they keep announcing really exciting stuff as they go around. So if you have an interest in this company, I'll definitely say you probably should follow these ones here. You get to see things, for instance, like their navigation pilot in their operating system 2.70 that will be featured out. You get to see some of the features, for instance, coming in towards it. Looks very exciting to me, especially if you're an investor. And then going on towards the announcement for the NIO Day, going all the way to January 9th, even though it's a little bit longer term. But as I did mention before, this company is definitely a longer term for me. So that's been my own kind of quick news summary. If you would like to watch a little bit in depth, I think I made around 20 videos on this company alone, just because the request was really high. I believe the first time I did it was somewhere around this range here. Ever since then, it hit really almost around 400%. So what is my estimation for this company's movement? Now, the market is being a little bit shaky, and there's a lot of politics coming around, November election, and so I do expect a little bit of pullback in the market alone. But for this stock, if you compare it towards the index itself, this is what I'm going to be mentioning. It probably will outperform the index in general. What you're probably going to be seeing is it's going to jump up, it's going to see a little bit of pullback, it's going to jump up and see a pullback. Why is that? It's because it's actually on an uptrend, and that's normal to see pullbacks. So right now it's sitting at a crucial level. Now, if it does dip below the 1973, then it's actually considered not on the uptrend anymore, because what you have is high highs, high lows. But if you end up having lower lows than the last one, that is quite concerning for us. But for the time being, I think it still looks really bullish, and it looks still on an uptrend, except with the significance when it comes in towards the interesting facts that we're getting on the technical analysis on the 1 week and 1 day perspective. What do you think about the sticker? Make sure you mention down in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. You have a wonderful day.